Today we're going to talk about improving your creative potential. And so what is the one rubbish statement that single-handedly limits our creative potential? Get ready for it. Some people are incredibly creative and others are not. I'm more analytical than creative. I say rubbish. Creativity is a skill to be mastered, not an endpoint of a so-called creative analytical continuum. In the interest of providing practical ideas to improve creative performance, here are 5 creative insights that can help. The first is your environment. Where do you actually do your work? Your surroundings have both a direct and indirect impact on how your mind works. Recently, I saw the home office of a marketing and PR pro. It was a small office, but the wall in front of the desk was painted with special blackboard paint. On the blackboard were inspirational messages, and attached to the wall were several candle holders. For her, this was an inspiring place to work. Now, while candles aren't my thing, and they may not be yours, what is? How might you change your environment to be more inspiring to you? The second is environmental change. Even if you have a perfect place to be creative, the sameness of it always doesn't inspire. Try changing to a different desk, or change the artwork, or put some music on. Going to a completely different location can give you that new perspective that you need to come up with new ideas. In my case, I wrote several of my books this way. One I wrote in a public library, and the other in a hotel in Phoenix by the pool. The third creative insight is input change. Knowledge. Knowledge is nutrition for the mind and is acquired through experiences at work, at school, on not-for-profit boards, and through what you read and what you watch. Without new knowledge, thinking patterns will never change. You may be creative, but you only will be tapping a small portion of your potential. Athletes pay attention to their nutrition, and so should you. Here's a couple questions. What challenging non-fiction books have you recently read, and which are on your to-be-read list? What new professional development have you signed up for, and what's on your list? What are you doing new on the job? How many special projects have you solicited? The more knowledge you have, the more raw material you're working with. This podcast and everything that I write are designed to stimulate both of these dimensions. Effectively, you're procuring for yourself a different knowledge base, mine, and as you engage with my ideas, you are able to use the knowledge profitably. In other words, you're learning to think differently. The next creative technique is reframing. Reframing means to look at the challenge from a different perspective. Take the challenge, swap industries, swap roles, swap genders, swap anything. For example, if you're trying to sell cars, a traditional marketing and sales brainstorm would yield traditional marketing and sales ideas. But consider the ideas that might come from reframing. How would cell phone companies sell cars? Monthly fees, free mileage, local driving zones, bundle with a free phone? How would Apple sell cars? Well, maybe they'd redesign the car itself with simple controls, a touch interface, and only available in 3 colors, and no negotiating with the dealer, just order online. How would Gillette, the razor blade company, sell cars? Well, cars would be free, but gas would cost 4 times what we now pay. How would a mechanic sell cars? Well, maybe they would give you free maintenance forever and a worry-free experience. Reframing can also apply to your own problem-solving techniques, even for generating content like this podcast. Start with the conclusion and reverse engineer your ideas. Use pictures and diagrams, write instead of type. Use a problem-solving framework that you've never tried before. All of these approaches provide different outputs, which can spark even more valuable ideas when you share them with others. My last suggestion is to remove self-imposed constraints. Often, the constraints to creativity are in people's heads and not in reality. Removing limiting factors can spark ideas that may have always been discarded because some constraints that can be removed. If budget were no object, if there were no existing solutions or legacy issues, if it could be done without a deadline, if no warranty were required, and so on. So here's your challenge. Next time you need to spend time thinking by yourself, change your environment, your inputs, reframe, and remove constraints. And you know that colleague or friend who says that they aren't creative? Send them this video. So for those who say that some people are incredibly creative and others are not, I'm more analytical than creative, I say rubbish. I'm Randall Craig. I hope this got you thinking, and if it resonates, let me know why and if I can help. Reach out at www.randallcraig.com.